French President Macron's decision to call snap elections came as a huge shock, but the results have thrown up a bigger shock. Defying all predictions, the left front emerged as the single largest party. Second came President Macron's centrist coalition, and surprisingly, the far right came third. They had come first in the first round of elections last week. But that result provoked the left parties and the centrist parties to make a strategic move in the second round of elections held yesterday to prevent the far right from winning power. That strategy worked. The left and centrist coalition closed ranks and withdrew their weaker candidates, so in the second round, the far right faced only one opponent. There was no split in the votes, and so with 24% vote share now, they only came third. The left front leader has already staked claim to be the prime minister, but they don't have majority on their own, nor do the others. So now you have three blocs in parliament, none with majority, all hate each other. Now that sounds familiar. Politics is pretty much the same everywhere. This gridlock in parliament is not good news for France. We can expect infighting, paralysis, even chaos. It is possible that President Macron will come to some kind of an understanding with the left, if only to keep the far right out. This is the worst thing to happen for France right now because they have the Olympics in just 3 weeks. The far right had come within striking distance of power, but deft electoral maneuvering have kept them out. They say they are sad and disappointed, but the question is, in what form will their disappointment take in future? Europe faces a large question about how to handle their far right that have become increasingly popular in Italy, Germany, Netherlands. Over the past decade, the far right gained support, public support, due to factory closures and joblessness caused by globalization, and some blame the immigrants for it. But the far right is problematic in Europe due to its historic links with Nazism and fascism. There are two schools of thought in Europe. One which believes that the far right should be kept out of power by all means, example France and Netherlands. They argue that accommodating the far right will lead to another Hitler. The other way is shown by Scandinavian countries and Italy, where the far right have been co-opted to power. It has worked well because power moderated the far right. But in Austria, the far right was discredited by scandals, incompetence, and misbehavior when they were in power. Most experts say it is better to co-opt the far right than to isolate or confront them. But then there is another problem. Most of the far right in Europe, especially France's far right, Marinelepen, for example, have links with Russia. And these days, Putin is Europe's enemy number one. So what happens in France does not only impact France, not only Europe, but also in Russia and other parts of the world.